Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, I wanted to talk about something called something that I find the world is hugely under the influence of uh, a misunderstanding that the world is not as it seems. So reality is not really how it um, looks like or how it appears to be here in the world. So, so um, this may sound very arrogant or very um, unrealistic, but let me try to explain here what I mean. So, in the world here, we have been told or we have been taught to achieve material success or to own things in the world. So, material success or scientific success or the technological advance that we are striving for is an it is an aim to achieve ownership of things in the world. So we are trying to own things all the time, and a person is called successful if he has owned things. Um, and this is not just owning in the realm of materialism, it is also owning in terms of spirituality. So, a person is supposed to be pious if he has a huge number of followers or if he is respected by a lot of people. In fact, the person who is at the end of both the sides, that is, both the good and the bad, is a victim to this mentality of ownership. So, so what happens in our life is there will be at a point when our desires are at a peak level and we want our desires to be achieved, and we will strive to do and to own our desires and to gain whatever we can. So desire is basically something that we lack, and we try to gain it in the outside world by owning it. So it could be anything. It could be material success, which is owning things like money, or owning properties, or um, um, owning buildings, or uh, and sometimes you get into a relationship just to own people. And parenthood, usually, if it is unwisely followed, is also a form of owning a person, and the child is treated as if it is a property of the parent um, till the age of 20 or 25, uh, which is right, and which is, of course, there are pros and cons to all of this, but but the mindset of owning things has not is what I'm trying to address here. So this mindset of owning things to become successful is actually the root cause of our suffering and the root cause of our thinking that we lack something. And in this mindset, we are giving power to the people who have what we desire. So a person who indulges a lot in sexual desires is giving power to women, and a person who is indulging a lot in the act of earning money or to become successful monetarily is giving power to the rich people. And you can see this in the behavior of the person when he encounters a rich person, or when a sexually deprived person who desires sexuality or who desires his sexual needs to be fulfilled, when he is in presence of a woman, he gives the power to this woman, or he gives power to the rich person. So whatever we desire, we give power to the person who has it, and this is a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of it is not a sign of strength. So whatever you own in the world, you are actually getting bonded by these things. You're not really freeing yourself from by having a big property or having a huge bank account. Whenever you gain something, there is always a possibility of losing it, and eventually you are going to lose it. And so, if you have spent your whole young life, all your adulthood on the search for money or in the search for gaining properties or gaining money, then at the end of your life, at the old age, you will start to understand that everything that you have gained is going to go away, and this is going to make it harder for you to leave this world because you have gathered a lot of things in from the world. So there is obviously an urge here to desire and to attain our desires, but desires, especially the lower form of desires, are not really worth seeking. So a desire such as um, a sexual desire, or maybe a desire to have good experiences by taking drugs or by getting drunk. These desires are very lower forms of desires, and as long as you are trapped in these lower form of desires, you are dissipating energy in all directions, and you are giving power to those who have what you desire. So there are, of course, higher forms of desires like achieving your purpose and following your passion. These forms of desires are obviously higher forms of desires, and which are realized only when you are able to sacrifice the lower desires. So a person won't be able to recognize his purpose or to understand why he is in the world unless and until he has the ability to sacrifice his lower desires. If he is caught in these lower desires, he will never even find out the purpose of life. And everybody in this world has a unique purpose, and this unique purpose is what we are all meant to do. And as long as you are on the path of following this purpose, you are not miserable. So, so coming back to the topic here, and coming back to the point that I was trying to make here, that that reality is not actually what it seems to be. So, if any of you have heard of something called an oobleck, which is um, what it is one of the substances in Dr. Seuss's children's book. Um, the oobleck is a mixture of water and starch, and it's like a material where you when you are pushing it deeper, um, it resists it. So the harder you push, the harder it resists. So the world that we see here in the world is also similar to an oblique. It is just like quicksand. The more you try to get into it, the more you will be involved in it, and the more bonded you will feel. So the root cause of everything is of this life and of the unenlightened state is suffering, and it is getting rid of the suffering is not by accomplishing desires or chasing these desires. It is actually detaching yourself from these desires. And renunciation is actually closer to freedom than um, possession. So a renunciate is more free than a person who has possessed a lot of things in the world. But there is obviously a problem with the renunciate also, which we will talk in maybe further videos. Um, I will surely upload another video of renunciation and its pros and cons. But then there comes a point in our lives when we see that material success is not really leading us anywhere, and then um, we try to own a religious tradition or a spiritual tradition, just like we are owning things in the material world. This again is the fault here, that the mindset has not been changed. The mindset of owning has not been changed. We are still trying to own the religion and own the practice that we are doing, or trying to own the ritual or the philosophy that we are following. We are not really questioning the philosophy or the religion or the thing that is making us happy. We are simply following it and owning it, just like we do in the material world. So, a young person should spend time, um, a huge amount of time, in contemplation and in thinking about the purpose of life. And a young person, especially with a healthy brain, should be able to come to conclusions about themselves and crystallize their ego. So it is the egoic mind that wants to own things in the world, and this egoic mind that we are all identified with is the root problem. It is not the fact that we are trying to possess things, it is the fact that we are trying to identify ourselves with the ego which is trying to possess things. So we are also approaching religion and spirituality in the similar fashion that we approach the material world and material success. So, so the reality actually is reversed. The inside is outside, and the upside is downside, and everything that is visible is illusory. Illusory in the sense that everything is temporary. Everything that is visible and interactable and changeable is temporary and will be eventually lost. And this is why a lot of seers and a lot of mystic sages have kept on uh, expounding on this idea that the reality is something that is hidden in plain sight. The secret of this universe and the reality, the truth, is hidden in plain sight. It is here right now, but we cannot see it, we cannot interact with it, and everything that is interactable is changeable, and hence it is illusory and not really um, the reality. The reality is something that is always present and it is always permanent. And the way to achieve reality is not the way that we usually find success in the world. The way is to unlearn, it is to misidentify ourselves. The spiritual path is the complete opposite path um, of the normal path. It is going back, it is returning to the source, it is going back to the home that we all came from. And going back to the source is where we will find lasting contentment and lasting happiness. And from this source, once you have glimpsed this source, we can start to see the patterns that the world works on, the patterns of the mind, the patterns of the ego, and how it tries to achieve things in the world. And when we see closer uh, and if we see deeply into the laws of the universe and into the ways the mind works and the ways that the world works and how people work, we understand in a very deep sense about the about this world, and then we are able to actually change it uh, to achieve our higher purpose. And our higher purpose is what we want to achieve in the world. With complete detachment, we will be able to actually recognize our higher purpose and be able to move closer to this higher purpose. So everybody has a unique purpose. It may not be, I cannot give you your purpose and tell you that this is your purpose. And you cannot own my answer like you try to own things in the world. So this purpose is usually revealed to you when you are closer and when you are able to feel your soul, when you are able to feel the source of creation and the source of experience itself. You can actually, you are you are enlightened to your purpose, and then the only matter of following this purpose is to understand the laws and to achieve this purpose. And only in achieving this purpose and following this purpose, you will find contentment. It doesn't matter if you hold a job that is giving you a huge amount of success, material success, and it is giving you the stability that you want. There will always be the discontented soul that you will return to when you come back from the office, when you come back from your business. And this discontented soul is because you're not following your purpose. So it is important to understand this message, especially in this day and age, because the world is the world is rapidly progressing in material success. So all of our desires have usually by now have been met. In the ancient times, it was in order to deliver a message, we had to wait for 2 or 3 days for the messenger to travel deserts and forests and reach their destination or reach the kingdom and give the message to the person. But in these days, we are doing it in fraction of seconds, and this desire of communicating has now been fulfilled completely, and this desire of not being bored has also been completely fulfilled. Yet there is a rapid increase in mental health issues. There is a rapid increase in loneliness. There is a rapid increase in depression and a lot of psychological issues that families are facing, that children are facing. A lot of traumas are increasing, even though we have advanced so much in terms of technology and in terms of material achieving our material desires. Yet we find that there is something wrong with us. The fact is that no matter how much we progress technologically, or we may even be able to elongate our lives, maybe up to 150 years or 200 years, through all these biotechnological advances that we are making and actually implementing them and using them for enhancing our abilities. We may be able to achieve even the impossible, that is elongating our life. But at the end of the day, the fact that the truth is that the unenlightened state of mind will always be suffering, and we will continuously keep wanting something that is not here now. And we always think that there is something wrong with this moment, that there is something wrong with the now, and we're always moving forward and going towards something that is in the future. It is important to realize the impermanence of everything that we are doing, that this moment will pass away, and the future that we are striving for so hard and with so much effort is also going to be only just this moment. It's only going to be temporarily and illusory. So that is why I say to a lot of people who come to me, I tell them the reality is not what we are seeing it. Reality is hidden in plain sight. It is something that is invisible, it is something that is unhearable, it is something that is very silent, and you yourself have to silence yourself in order uh, to interact with this actual reality, which is uh, which is something that is unchanging, that will last you forever, that will last you till the end of your life and till even beyond it. So it is important now to question and contemplate upon our acts and upon our desires. Of course, I'm not trying to say that materialism is somehow bad, or it is not bad at all. I myself have been a long time materialist, but now I have seen the illusoriness of this chase, of this temporary thing that we are chasing. And yes, uh, it went through a lot of questioning, and it was easy for me to adapt and own religion or a spiritual philosophy, but it is important for us all to contemplate and think about philosophy, about our purpose, and about the universe, and to contemplate on our own. Contemplation again is not going and buying a bunch of books and reading them in order to own their answer. You will never get to lasting contentment if you approach the world, or if you approach the spiritual path or the path of enlightenment with the mindset of owning things. So thank you for watching this video.